There are thousands of successful adoption stories coming out of the Dane County Humane Society.
Countless pets have found homes, but News 3 traveler Mark Kane has a story tonight, not so much of an adoption, but one more about fate.
This story begins one morning last July. Tim Stevenson was watching the news.
Well, I saw her on News 3, the Pet of the Week. And then I'm like, well, I hear the little bit of the stories that she's not really adoptable.
And you brought Sassy this morning.
I did.
It's
This
very
is
fun.
Sassy.
Energy.
Oh my gosh, so much energy. You would never guess that she's a 10-year-old.
Older dogs can sometimes be hard to place.
And I'm like, well, just because she's 10 years old and she's got a few problems doesn't mean anything, and I'm not going to let her die just because of all that. Just because she's 10 years old, I'm like, heck, that's an old lady I can catch up to.
Or so Jim thought.
Well, she took me for 4 walks a day and then required tennis balls on top of it. So, yeah, I'm thinking, well, this is a 10-year-old dog. She's going to be easy on me. Oh, no. She takes off after the tennis balls like a 2-year-old pup.
Two new best friends burning up the sidewalks on the north side. That's a pretty good story. But this one doesn't end there. You see, Tim's a diabetic.
First thing I do in the morning, you know, and she's got to go out, and I'm like, just a minute, I got to check my blood. And she's sitting right by me, and she watches the whole thing, and then she can smell my breath, and I'm like, well, I'm low, you gotta wait a minute, and then I gotta eat something, and she's like, oh, come on, hurry up, So she knows I'm eating something because my blood sugar's low. And she's putting two to two together after the first month.
And then something remarkable happened.
One night I wake up in the middle of the night and she's throwing my blood meter on my lap and tugging on my arm. 3 weeks later, it happened again, and then it happened again. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together, so okay. She knows when I'm low and she knows when I'm high. Well,
There are dogs trained to help diabetics keep track of their blood sugar. They sense it in the breath. But Sassy, she was never trained. She grew up on a farm. She somehow learned this on her own.
So this is pretty amazing. I'm like, wait a minute, I've been waiting for a dog trained for diabetes for this long, and now I've got one, and all I had to do was love her to death.
Sounds like a pretty good deal all around. So what does she mean to you?
Mean to me?
Yeah.
I'd die without her.
You saved her.
That's nothing.
It's a little more than nothing. Tim saved Sassy, and she returns the favor every day. Man's best friend, and it seems the other way around as well. Traveling in Madison, I'm Mark Kane, WISC News 3.
Great story.
Yeah, unreal.
We needed that tonight, didn't we? Well, to buy a dog trained to sniff out diabetes would normally cost about $25,000. So,
wow.
Pretty cool for him that she picked that up.
Yeah.
Just somehow.
And it's so
there.
sweet, he saved her, but
Beautiful.
really she saves him every day.
Beautiful dog, too.
Yeah.
Beautiful dog.